you guys doing? How you doing?
What's going on, baby?
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? How you doing, man? What's up? Guys, this is a huge treat to have these guys here with us today. So let's just make one more round of applause for these guys here, please. Guys, so the theme for today that we're discussing is networking, the power of networking. With our first panel, we got into a little bit more logistics with the Canadian kind of industry, how it works. I think with this conversation, we would just love to absorb some stories from you guys. You guys have had long, illustrious careers. Why don't we start with talking about, if you're able to share a story where you felt like a networking situation, a networking moment really propelled you into a project, really opened up a door for you. If you could share something like that. Why don't we start with you, Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got into the game, you know, I've been writing rhymes since like 85. I started like 85. So yeah, so you know, I met RZA like around in like 87. He was the man where he was at. So I didn't really know him like that. My cousin introduced me to him. And it was like, when I seen him, he had like a glow over him. Like, I knew he was about something. You know what I mean? So I started polying with him because he was making music in Park Hill. That's where Ray from. I'm from Stapleton, you know what I mean? But it was just like a gravitational pull on him where I just had to get next to him, you know what I mean? So he had the crazy beats and this and that and the third, and I knew I had to poly with him, meaning like just network with him. It just felt like, I'm a spiritual dude, so it just felt like he was about something, because like he had that glow on him. You know what I mean? He was selling clothes with me, he had them suede jackets and everything, but yeah, and when I networked with him, I gave him a movie called Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, excuse me, y'all. And he watched it and came back down, and he said, "Yo, I want to make a group out of this." You know what I mean? And then from one thing led to the next, and then, you know, he carried that for like 5 years, and then before you know it, that's how you got Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean? But it was all through like, yo, I had to get with him. Like, you know, God does miracles, you know what I mean? So he brings people together without you even knowing it. So when you know, like I said, I had to network, I had a plan, but his plan was like bigger. You know what I mean? So that's how we came.
And you talked briefly about how you first connected, but before you guys were even introduced, how did you create that situation where you would meet RZA?
Because he moved to my projects. So I'm in one building, he over there. You know, I catch him walking around after I met him. And I knew that he was into flicks, like the karate flicks and all that. So, you know, but from where I'm from, it's the same thing. So I had an ill movie. Like I said, it was the Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, and I just brought it to him. Like, yo, check this out. You know, and
so you didn't know him? You guys weren't friends? You're just like,
we wasn't like that. I know him after my cousin introduced me to, but I just see him like walking through the basketball courts and probably going to the store doing what he had to do. You know what I mean? But he had the equipment up in his house. So Ray and them used to go to his house in the other building and stuff like that. So I bump in there, I see Meth, U-God, you know what I mean? That's when he only had a 4-track, just laying stuff down. So yeah, so after I gave him that tape, it was just on from there. He came out like, yo, I want to make a group like that, and he stuck to it.
That's incredible. You know what the big takeaway for me here is, hearing you took the time. We're talking about research and things that you should do to network with people.
Right.
You took the time to find out that RZA was into something, and then
he looked like it.
You kind of figured that out, and you were like, I'm going to present him with this.
Exactly.
So you did your own kind of research there to make that happen.
Yeah. Something was like it was like a piece. He had a glow over him. So it's like I said, I just had to like, yo, I don't know. It was just, you know, God just does it. You don't even know why you know, but it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, what about for you? I'm sure you have a similar story, or maybe even a different story that you want to share.
Oh man, I mean, so many, but I just, you know, just so everybody be clear before I say what I say, Ghost and RZA were the ones that came up with the name Wu-Tang Clan. Like he just said, and this is something that I'm just learning as well too, because how he started the network with RZA, he had a movie, he had a DVD that he wanted to let him see. and they came up with the name.
VHS, right?
A VHS tape, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Came
Tape,
up with the
VHS.
name Wu-Tang Clan. So could we get a round of applause for that?
Yeah.
Because
That's
to
incredible.
me, that was a part of his network thing, is to bring somebody that he looked up to, something dope that he felt that he may be idolized from. Because see, that's what networking to me is about. It's about idolization and it's about influence. What influences us? You know, so they influenced each other. It's like he said, RZA is like a nomad. You know, he lived in many different neighborhoods, many different communities, and he always had a passion for something. And once you see somebody around you that has a passion, and it's to where it's out of control passion, but it's good passion, now you become influenced by this person. And we always been the type of people that wanted to be around people that was motivated, people that was doing stuff positive. And that's what networking means. It means to idolize things. It means to be able to say, yo, I can learn something from this. I can be engaged in a positive light to where even if I may think that I can't do it, I can do it because I'm next to somebody that did it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and just, we talk about that story all the time.
He
Even
mad smart. He's mad smart.
RZA is, you know.
Yeah, he was reading everything. He was, even when we got on, he was studying medicine. He brought
Cool. I just
we call
texted
him
you
a
tag repost from
microscope.
The reason I gave you the phone.
He was
bro.
looking at
It's fucking like
different little bugs and stuff in a little, you know, the little slide. You know what I mean? But it was all of that attracted me to him. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Rico, I know for you, you have almost a similar kind of trajectory with Usher. You guys met early on. Can you share some of that journey and that networking process of how you guys connected?
Yeah, Usher was he discovered me. And the networking is important because I went to college with a guy who was close to Usher. And that's how we got introduced. But also being in the right place at the right time and really trying my best to excel in my gift. A lot of people may not know I started off as a rapper. So I was rapping and I was so intense about what I wanted to do that everybody around me knew that that's what I was about. So anybody who had any type of relationship, they would always think, how can I connect you with something else? How can I help this person? Or anytime music would come up, they would think of me because they knew how serious I took, you know, rhyming. And back when I used to write, like all MCs know, like you keep a note, you just get in there and you just write. I don't know how. Today is different because everybody records right on the spot, but we would just write all day, every day. You get home, you couldn't wait to write something. You in the store, you writing until I stopped. You know, I saw an interview that said Biggie didn't write no more, so I stopped writing when I saw that Big didn't write. But yeah, it was because of friends who introduced us. And what I tell people all the time is that if you're so passionate about something, if you're consistent with it, it'll lead you to the right person. The Bible says your gift will make room for you, right? What that means is that when there are no spaces available, the gift that you have will make a space available for you. So when you so in tune with your gift and you so, you know, just intense about your craft, somebody will take notice. I always tell people, you're super talented. If you sit in that corner every day and start singing, nobody in this room, you just sit in that corner every day. If you're really good, the guy working here gonna walk by and say, yo, it's a guy who sings in that corner every day. And the next you know, he's gonna tell somebody. Before you know, the crowd is gonna form. And then as long as you're great at something, all you have to do is just live in that greatness. And that will create a network for you. So that's another idea about networking a lot of people don't understand. Some people aren't social. And you can't force that on some people. I had to learn that a long time ago because I'm very social. I'm very mannerable. I love to speak to people. I look people in the eyes. But there's some people I used to think they were being rude. But there's some people that are physically uncomfortable with it. So what I tell those people to do is focus on the gift. Just be absolutely great, and people will come to you. They will just be drawn to you.
That's great advice. I feel like a lot of even creatives in this room, people that I talk to, might have that issue where they're introverted, and going out to like a networking event, even this might be a big effort. So what do you say to somebody like that?
First of all, you guys grew up in a social media era. You grew up in social media. Like when you were born, it was here. So if you are used to communicating with people on a full-time basis on a phone and not speaking, that can be a bit awkward when you see them in person. I didn't grow up in that era, you know what I mean? I grew up I had to walk down the street and knock on my friend's door to see if they could come outside, you know? I didn't have a cell phone till I was 19, you know what I mean? I'm 41. I didn't have a phone till I was 19 years old, so I just had to go, and that's the only way to interact. So it was a lot, I think we lived in a great era, a great space where we had to communicate in that way. Right. But I don't want to limit the new culture and think that they're living in messed up times. I think you guys should envy us in the way that we grew up, because it was incredible. I'm telling you, like getting to know people was so incredible because you had to ask questions, you had to spend time with them. There was no bio, you know what I mean? It was like I gotta figure out who you are, right? Right. So I think that in
this era, what kind of advice would you give to people now that are, I guess maybe suffer from being introverted? What kind of solution would you tell them to
like
explore?
I said, like focus on the greatness. Focus on being great and figure out one person around you that you trust. And sometimes that person can be a voice for you. I was just watching, it's a new documentary on the 10 Commandments on Netflix. It just came out like yesterday, and I was watching it. And when Moses goes in the mountain, God tells him, Aaron, go meet your brother Aaron. He's gonna give you a message. And when you get with Aaron, because you're not good with your speech, Aaron's gonna speak for you, right? So anybody who knows, about Hebrew, about the Quran, about whatever, you'll know that Moses is a constant in all three, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, right? So the thing with Moses was he wasn't an eloquent speaker like people, paint him to be now. In the beginning, he couldn't speak for himself. So he found Aaron, which was his brother, and he did all the speaking for him. So anybody who's introverted, find somebody you trust who understands you. And if somebody understands you and they champion you, when you got people around you that really believe in you and want to see you win, one, they're going to protect you with their life, and then they're going to speak up for you. It's like my little sister, right? My little sister, if somebody said something crazy to me right now, my little sister would be on the stage. Ready, right? You got to have people that are that ferocious about you, and not just in the physical, not just in the altercation. I'm just talking about when it comes to championing you. You got to have people around that's like, I know that you're not comfortable with this, so I'm going to do it for you because I don't want people to miss. If I know that this is the only thing in between you and your gift is the fact that you're not social, I'll be social for you because the world needs to feel this gift. So I would advise people to find people who they trust.
That's really good advice too, because I think anyone who's successful has a team, and usually that team starts with one person who believes, right? So that's great advice. Part of what we want to discuss today too is networking, but also building and maintaining those relationships. I think all of you guys here exemplify being able to maintain long-lasting relationships over the years. You guys are like brothers, and you guys started together. And you and Usher, you guys still work together, right? So how do you guys, for the people here who want to learn about, you could build a relationship. Somebody might come up to me today, someone might come up to you today, but how do you maintain that relationship? That goes for all of you, whoever wants to answer. All
right. The key thing is you have to know what kind of people you want around you, first and foremost, You got to know what that person, qualities that you are drawn to. For me, when I see somebody, they may be in a great space, they may be in a bad space, but you know what? What I look at is I look at their heart. That's the first thing that's important to me. How sincere are they? How genuine are they? And then when you start to see that, you start to know that deep inside, there's good things, there's greatness in them. Because like you said about having people next to you that at the end of the day may bring a gem to you or something that you may just be attracted to. So it's important to know how this person lives, how this person thinks, how this person has visions, what's on his vision board. What could make you feel like at the end of the day, wow, this guy right here is just something about him. I got to get next to him somehow. And I wanted to add on real quick about something he said, about being next to one person or whoever. Sometimes that one person could be you. It could be you talking to yourself. I know for me, I talk to myself. I don't know if y'all talk to yourself, but that's not being weird. That's you sitting there saying to yourself, trying to make great decisions.
Make sense of things.
And that becomes that ego or that alter ego inside of you to make you say, yo, you know what? I don't know when I'm gonna get this shot again. I don't know if I'm gonna ever have this opportunity right now to say something. Like I would walk by somebody that's great and wouldn't even say nothing to them. But if I could just go like this, just touch him, something like this, a power goes through me. It's like, on some cartoon shit or something.
That's some
like
superhero
Popeye and
shit.
spinach, like, oh shit. You know,
Yeah.
but it's about that opportunity that you see in that person that may be able to give you something. Like you said, some people don't know how to talk. Some people talk a lot.
Right.
Some people are great thinkers. So you got to know how to put those people in a position for you to be able to say, yo, this guy's not a great talker, but he's an execution. He executes great, but he's just not a talker.
That's like me.
You know,
You know what I'm saying? I don't like talking like that.
see, some
you know
people
what I'm
don't
saying?
talk.
Which is crazy. Like,
But I'm
You
a
would think you would
thinker.
talk all day.
Thinker though.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
So
Ray,
you pair
Ray
up
on the
together,
other half, huh?
Yeah, you pair up together,
Of course.
and he
You know-
does
yeah.
the majority of the talking.
Yeah.
And sometimes talking to, not to cut
Yeah,
you, but
yeah.
sometimes you need that, like you said, you need that battery. We call it a battery. A battery is important to have.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you can't become a battery to yourself on taking those opportunities and executing them in a way to where you meet somebody and you say, yo, I dig this guy. You know, it may take you 3 or 4 times. It's, you know, like Ghost said, yo, when I seen RZA, it's like I studied him. Yo, you know, and RZA was very smart back then. He was into knowledge. He was knowledgeable. He would run around with a book of rhymes this big. The book had hair on it. That's how many rhymes he had in the book. You know, so by you saying how, you know, you looked up to him and you gave him something that you felt like at the end of the day, both of y'all said, damn, yo, Wu-Tang versus C.R.E.A.M, that movie, yo, we gonna call a group Wu-Tang one day.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that he was able to contribute to RZA that
Right.
was so powerful. So it's all, what I'm trying to say is back to knowing your surroundings, guys.
You know what's
have
great?
to
You know what's great
be
about
around
what
the
you're
great
saying
surroundings.
is that you're asking, like, when you try to figure out how to keep this network, it's all about the value that each person brings.
Right.
So the best way to keep a network is to offer. You know what I mean? If there's anything you ever want or it's anything you ever need, give it.
That's right.
Give it.
That's right.
If you need shoes, give away shoes.
That's great advice. I think a lot of people, when they think about networking, it's almost you're thinking about what you have on your plate and how you can get someone to help you execute.
No, it's about what you can give. And if
Exactly.
you're consistently able to give, then the first thing a person will think of, and some people are takers, so we can't, let's not
That's
forget
right.
that. So don't think
Right.
that everybody's gonna operate this way. But if you have a network of people who you're building with over time, continue to offer them something, to continue to be something for them that they, all right, if I know that, all right, me personally, I hate booking flights. I hate booking flights. I hate, booking hotel. I just hate it. So if somebody sees that I don't like that and they say, I got that for you, then I'm gonna always need this, even if it's not them in particular, their skill set is gonna be a necessity for me. If somebody knows that I don't cook, then they're gonna know, all right, well, let me contribute in this way because this is how this person contributes. The key is to find people around who understand the gifts that you bring to the table and they wanna counter you. They're sitting around and they're thinking to themselves, you do so much. Let me think of what I can do so that I won't feel like I'm just taking. And when you got those type of people around, your network is stronger because everybody's thinking about how they can help the other. That's one of the
And it's
things for me.
trust.
If anybody, Usher discovered me, gave me an opportunity. The first song I ever wrote was a song called Throwback on the Confessions album. And I remember still to this day how it makes me feel. I almost get emotional thinking about how it makes me feel to know
Incredible
what
song,
he did
man.
for me
Yeah.
to change my life. So I remember one year, he gave me an Air Traveler, this watch. You remember the Air Traveler, the square with the diamond face? He gave me the Air Traveler watch for my birthday, and I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, this is a $30,000 watch this man bought me. So when I first started making money, I knew that he was into bikes. So I had him a custom bike made, and I spent $75,000 on the bike. And I remember being so happy to be able to do something for him.
Right.
And that's what you need around you. People who think to themselves, how can I give to you? Like something that is meaningful, something that you can appreciate, something that you can value. So whenever you have people around you who are looking at you and saying, wow, you blessed me. And all they think about is not just, oh, I'm grateful. There's the act of gratefulness is being able to give back.
That's
give it
great
back.
advice, guys.
So-
I feel like, reciprocating that energy.
Yeah.
Let's make some noise for
That's
that.
live.
That's amazing.
That's live.
Ghost, I know you're the quiet one, but I would love to hear from you. What would you say is the key to maintaining a long-lasting relationship?
Communication. It's like having a relationship with your girl. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna have trials and tribulations, and I know that a lack of communication leads to a bad understanding. But if the communication is there, you know what I mean? No matter what, it could be your man. Like me and Ray, we go through our things, we argue and all that, everything. You know, it's brothers. You know what I mean? But we get around each other, it's like, oh snap, yo, what's up? This and that, and third. But I think that for real long-lasting relationship, it's communication, yo. Like,
I agree. I think communication is the key.
That's it. Because you fix anything.
Yeah.
You might be feeling a certain type of way, and I don't even know you're feeling like that. And it's like, yo, I'm not even thinking that way. You know what I mean? But all I had to do was be like, yo, bro, what's good? You know what I mean? And talk.
Trust me, we go through it a lot.
We go through it mad times.
We
You know what I mean? All the time. Like, you know what I mean? But you know what? It's when we got together, like 30 years in music. You know what I mean? With each other like that. Everything ain't gonna just be like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let me tell you something. If somebody tell you that they don't go through it with their mans or their girl or kids or whatever, they fronting.
The relationship ain't real.
It's not. It's not, because that's what it's based on. A relationship is like, yo, you trying to you gotta go through that. That's the relationship.
Yeah.
Because you building it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you ain't doing that, I don't know what you got.
Right.
Yeah. On that note, like an important point that I want the young creatives in here to take away too is also not burning bridges, right? I feel like the media industry, entertainment industry, you keep seeing the same faces over and over throughout the years, especially if you have a long career, you're gonna keep running into the same people. So can you give people in this room a tip for, again, not creating situations where relationships end? I think communication was a big one there. Do you guys have anything else that you can add?
Some things are unavoidable, and you always have to keep that in mind. Some people are going to feel the way they're going to feel about a scenario. Some people will see the situation differently. Like you, if I stand over here, you stand over here, you stand over here, we see a car crash, we all saw 3 different car crashes, right? Even though we looked at one.
Right.
So we always have to be mindful of the fact that just because this is the way I perceive this thing happening, does not mean that that's how they perceived it happening. So we got to keep that in mind, because a lot of people talk about relationships and burning bridges, but some things are unavoidable. Some people are going to feel the way they're going to feel because of their vantage point. But I also want to keep in mind is character. When you said earlier, your mood can change, your character can never change. So what that means is, I always ask a person, if I'm on a date with a young lady, I always ask her, what do you like when you're angry? Because your mood can change.
Right.
And people will be honest. They'll think it's cute and say something that's terrible. Oh, I get crazy. When I'm angry, I can blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I needed to know that. Because your mood, you are allowed to have a different mood. You are not allowed to change your character. Your character is who you are. Your mood is how you feel. I can't dictate if it's going to be hot or cold or this or that. That's something I feel. Now, how I would behave with that. I don't have a coat, so I'm going to steal your coat. That's character. I don't have a coat, so I'm gonna work hard to get a coat. That's character. I'm gonna have a coat, so I'm gonna say, hey, could I borrow your coat? That's character. But taking is something, it's not based upon, oh, that's not my character, that's because of how I felt. No, that's who you are. Because the decisions we make are based on who we are. So when we look at that, when we think about relationships though, we gotta always understand that as long as my character is intact, I'm okay with falling out with any person. As long as I maintain my character. Because at the end of the day, the character I have is going to open the next door for me. My gift, my character is going to open up the next door for me. Now, I can't dictate how a person feels about something. All I can do is how I respond to it. So I do know you asking about burning bridges, but some bridges are unavoidably going to burn. And you have to be okay with that. You can sleep at night knowing that I made the right decisions. I did the right things, and I did what was true in my heart. And if I didn't, I was honest enough to apologize or communicate that, right? And I think that people lose sight of that. Because I don't want this room to get in this mindset of having to maintain relationships with shitty people just because somebody told you this on a panel. I want you to understand that some people you need to remove yourself from. You just need to make sure that your character stays intact and that you stay who you are.
Actual fact.
Hey, that's facts, man. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actual fact. Absolutely. Actual fact.
I definitely want to ask about networking and networking allowing to take you into a new direction that you might not have gone before. I think for you, Ray, I followed closely when you were doing the Ice H2O thing in Toronto. And I thought, this is dope. Like, we got Wu-Tang in Toronto. This is amazing. Can you talk about how networking allows you to like venture off into new things you've never done before?
I would say that I'm a firm believer of people that got goals as well, you know? Because I always reflect back to when I was coming up and how hard it was to get to those levels of getting somebody to acknowledge what I was about. So, you know, when you sit here and you think about, yo, there's so many talented people that we always see out there that never get an opportunity to be around people that done it. That always bothered me, you know, and I always been the type of person that if somebody had it, I think I would be able to mind see it and be like, I may ask a couple of questions or, you know, have them show me whatever it is. But I always was a firm believer of, if you believe you got it, then somebody needs to hear it or feel it from you. And that was one of the things that I felt like with me, you know, going back to RZA, I just want to speak on RZA again because I might have been RZA, you know, this is before you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might have been RZA's biggest fan. And when I say that is because I was with him when he was trying to get his solo deal.
Right.
And I seen greatness in him. And, you know, I'm cheerleading from the side and, you know, and then he spent it around and said, yo, after a while, you know, yo, you got something too. You know, and that right there gave me the ability to know that maybe I do got something. Maybe, I just probably don't know it yet, but while I'm giving this man all his flowers, he gave me mine, you know, in a way to where he gave me that ability to say, yo, I could do it too. So to go back to what you're saying, it's about me being able to see that there's a lot of people out there that deserve a shot.
Pay it forward.
You know what I mean? Deserve it. You meet people for a reason. They say you meet people 3 times. You may bump into that person 3 times. You know, and I'm a firm believer of that. You know, just getting out there, seeing somebody and telling them, yo, listen, all right, you got talent, but do you got your shit together? Can you show me something? Can you add on to it? Don't just run up and say, yo, can I rhyme or can I sing or, you know, because sometimes there's moments where you can do that, but then sometimes it's moments you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You could just communicate. You know, you could just talk. Yo, how you doing? I'm into what it is. And it's all about, like he said, that character. That character is going to allow you to be able to walk in a way where people see it and say, yo, I like how you came. You know, so that was one of the things that was important to me with wanting to, you know, contribute to a lot of people's successes because the way they approached it, you know, and the way you approach things is important, you know. You could be dope, but if you got a cocky attitude or you just coming too much like you make it, it's like, yo, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now you throwing me through a loop now because you already feel you made it.
Yeah.
You know, which at the end of the day, it's levels to everything. So it's all about you being at a level to where you know, okay, I'm gonna be real responsible with my actions and how I carry things to let this person know that, you know, this is something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
You know, we wanna feel that passion in you. We wanna know that, you know, when that opportunity comes for you that you didn't get too excited. Because your man could be next to you gassing you up. Yeah, yo, there you go right there, yo. You know, but that
Do it the right way.
if you do it the wrong way, you could miss.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You
And
know,
you know what?
so
I love that because to me, I love good people. You know what I mean? I think that you attain a certain level of access or success or celebrity or notoriety, and people assume things about you, but then when they meet you, you got to give them that energy. So I'm instant
Right.
with my energy. I'm instant with the smiles and with the hugs. When people will come up to me and like, yo, Rico, I'm always, hey, you know, because I want them to feel that from me. And I've been, for the past few days, I've been working with this kid, Lavish. And the
Shout
thing
out
about
Lav.
it, he's here? Yeah. Oh, there we go. So I've been working with him, and I was just telling Triz, I was just like, he's such a good kid that I want to make sure that I show up for him. And what I mean by that is like, because his energy is so good, as I'm writing, I'm like, I gotta write this, I gotta write some shit. Like I gotta,
right.
because I feel like I owe it to him because of what he's given to me, the energy that he's given me. And people think that, you know, I've been doing this a long time and I've been doing this at a high level for a long time, but it still feels good when younger people are like, bro, I'm a huge fan. It feels good because now it makes me, I have to live up to this.
Right.
I have to make sure that I show up for this person. And
So his character was good.
his character was so good that it made me feel like I gotta show up for him. I gotta write the best. I gotta make sure that we have this experience. And I wanted to make sure that he was involved as well. You know, I wanted to make sure that if I came up with an idea, I would be like, all right, cool, now what would you say here? What would you do in this space?
Right.
Give me the melody that works for you. Because I wanted him to feel as good as he made me feel about being in the room, you know what I mean? And I know people wouldn't expect that because they would think, oh man, you Rico Love, you blah, blah. But no, bro, it feels incredible when somebody acknowledges the work that you've put in, especially a generation that can sometimes, you guys can come off a little bit shitty, man. You know, y'all can be, you know what I mean? I love y'all, but y'all, this new generation, it could be too cool. And it's like, bro, you don't have to be so cool. It's okay to give it up.
I got to
know what
vouch for Lav.
gotta
I had a
be-
chance to sit down with Lavish too. And this guy is, I have to say
great
he's
person.
authentic.
Great person.
And who he is really shows out. So shout out to Lav. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you guys are working together.
And like you said too,
Yeah.
you gotta remain humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
I seen brothers that thought they was getting on and never got on.
And he was
right.
acting crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never got on. But in my mind, I'm saying like, yo, this dude ain't gonna go nowhere because he's already wishing.
Yeah.
Like, yo, watch, I'm getting on, I'm shitting on everybody.
Right.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I'm doing this, I'm doing watch, Ghost, watch. It never went nowhere.
Yeah.
You guys
know what
bring
I mean?
up really good points about almost like first impressions as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you only get one opportunity to meet someone and make a lasting impression on them. I'm sure that there's people you're going to meet tonight that want to make a good impression on you. There's people that slide into your DMs, want to make a good impression. Can I get a verse? Can I jump on a track?
Right.
What do you guys suggest for young creatives when they're reaching out to guys like yourselves?
I would say this about impressions. Thing I learned a long time ago was that I'm not allowed to have a bad day. And what I mean by that, I means that anybody that comes up to me in these type of these spaces, I don't care what I'm going through, they're gonna get my game face. I'm smiling, I'm shaking hands, because that one kid could turn around and be the next big thing, or not. And it's not about who they are, but I don't ever want them to come back and say that their first time meeting me, I was a jerk to them. So no matter what I'm going through, I have to. And I remember being at, it's a funny story. I remember being at dinner with Usher. Me and Usher were arguing. This was the beginning of my career. So we back in this dinner. I was signed to him as a rap artist. So I didn't feel like he was doing enough. I was so ungrateful. But I didn't feel like he was doing enough. So I'm telling him all that. We having this meeting and we going back and forth. And I did something so stupid. I did a song with Joel Santana. This when Joel was like on fire, and he did a record with me, and I dissed Usher on the song. Ooh. But I dissed him in a way that only he and I knew, so I never said his name, but he knew what I was talking about. And he said, yo, let's have, like, are you crazy? Like, you know, we having this meeting. So we going back and forth, and this woman just kept coming up, and she kept like, hey, can I? And, you know, he was just like, so then finally she says to him, I don't mean to be rude. And he said, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to correct you. Yes, you do. You do mean to be rude. I'm so sorry, but you mean to be rude. But I'm gonna tell you how to do this. When we finish talking, I'm gonna come up and I wanna have a drink with you. And I wanna talk to you, and I want you to tell me everything that's on your mind. Because me and this brother is having a real intense conversation right now, and I can tell you see it, but I don't wanna ruin your Usher moment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a drink with you, but you really breaking my heart because you keep coming over here. And I was like, wow, he was able to still address her rudeness, because she was very rude. Like, it was incredibly rude. But he was able to address it. And then
So
And
relevant.
so what he showed me was, I still gotta be, this is her first time ever seeing Usher. You know what I mean? And it was great because obviously he's been famous since he was 13. So he's always lived in that. So it's never been a time where he knew people not bothering him every day, right? So when he said that, I was like, wow, he understands that this is the only time, this may be her only time being this close.
Right.
I gotta be able to not counter it, because nobody's ever gonna tell the story that they were rude first. You know what they're gonna say? I met Usher at a restaurant and he was a jerk to me.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not gonna say I interrupted his conversation 6 times, I kept walking up, she was doing this thing where she would do this to the table.
no.
Hey, Usher, hey.
Yeah.
And when she said, I don't mean to be rude, and he said, yes you do, but it's okay. After I finish this conversation, I'm gonna have a drink. And he sat down and had a drink with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shows grace.
But
in
what
those
I'm
moments,
trying to say is that every person I meet, I have to realize that a lot of times they're thinking of this, they've been thinking of this for a long time. That's a person I don't know, but they've been wanting this moment. They've been admiring me from afar. They've been in love with my work, songs I've written, things I've done, and this is their chance. And I always have to keep that in mind. Even if they're being whatever, I have to make sure I give them the best version of myself for whatever setting I'm in. And when we remember that, it becomes a part of who you are and not just the game face. It's just saying like, yes, I'm dealing with real life stuff, but I still have to understand who I am and what I signed up for when I became,
Right.
That's why you gotta just, like people do that all the time. I could be pissed off and they come run up on me, you know what I mean? But I gotta put the smile on.
That's right.
I gotta take the picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know what? I always got it on.
Yeah.
Bow, all right, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See me, I don't always have it on sometimes because some shit people be doing sometimes be weird. Like you could be in the mall, right? And I'm sure we all been in the mall before. Somebody see you, and next thing you know, they start staring. The next thing you know, you walk in, you like, all right, I peeped them from the side looking over it. The next thing you know, you over there, you see them again.
Oh, that's
so
right.
now
That's
it's like,
You're stalking.
why you ain't just come to say hi?
Yeah, so that's different. That's different.
But I'm just saying how it could go. I'm just saying how it could go. It could go on and off sometimes.
Yeah, because all they gotta do is ask.
But
Now
you have people
now
that
I'm
are
thinking it could be something different.
You don't know what it is. It could be
Yeah.
I did something to you back in the days or whatever. And then when you finally come, it's like now I'm drained because of how you went about it. See, so sometimes I'm not going to sit here and say all the time my attitude is going to change. It's just going to be why you go about it like that. You know,
But I think
sometimes you could be eating.
Yeah, oh my
You're
God.
eating, you're hungry, you're getting ready to eat. And somebody's right over you. Yo, what's good? Yo, I'm a big fan. And it's like, word, that's how you do it? That's what it's all about? That's how you approach me?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Guys, you heard it here.
They
Don't
want to shake
interrupt the
their hand while
meals.
you eating.
Don't interrupt the
You know
meals.
what I mean? It's like, yo, you just gotta give them the fish real quick.
So what we're trying to say is that it's important
Yeah, you're right.
to
that's
give
so
the
funny.
energy that you want back, but at the
course.
same time,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it's about how you present.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, and I said it earlier too, like, yo, I want to see people win. This is what it's all about. It's music, it's a part of our vessel in life to live better. And music, you know what I mean? We love music. So if anybody's in the music business or whatever business you in, it has a lot to do with the world changing. And we, being some of the trailblazers, we want to be in those positions with y'all.
To help change it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be there, but it's also about how you move. How you moving. You know what I mean? You can't get too excited. You know, you got to know when that time makes sense and, come up. Like I said, this person could be dope, but at the end of the day, I might ask him, yo, you got, like you said, today's world, yo, you on IG? Nah, I ain't on there, yo. I'm saying to myself, all right, well, you don't even know how far you got to go now.
Yeah.
Because you're not really taking advantage of the things that's important. Yo, you got a name? What's your name? Yo, I ain't even got a name yet. You know what I mean? All right. See, so now I'm starting to check off things that, at the end of the day, you're not even coming correctly. So to me, you're not even prepared.
That's right.
And you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared.
This
So
is a theme we've been talking about even through the last panel is when you approach somebody, either have be prepared with what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Come prepared with whatever it is your release plan is going to be. Just come prepared, right? So I think you're echoing those sentiments, which is, I hope everyone here is listening. Like when you reach out to people, be prepared. I want to also ask you guys.
Wait 1 second.
Go for it. Go
Chiz,
for
what
it.
was the girl's name that said in my session yesterday? The young girl? Malika. So it was a girl. She's a 14-year-old girl. She
Yeah.
sat in the session. They just put her in the room just to observe. Sweet girl. And I felt like it was my daughter in the room. Like that's how sweet she was. I have a 14-year-old son. And I asked her. I said, "So you do music? Can I hear something?" And she was about to start singing. Just right on the spot. I was like, no, you don't have to sing right now. I just want to, but I was impressed that she was like,
ready.
She was ready to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I really just wanted to know if you had something I could hear. And she's like, well, I don't have much, but the fact that she didn't have much, it's what you were saying was, okay, yeah, she didn't have any music recorded yet, or she wasn't, but she was ready to perform on the spot. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you got to just be prepared in any situation. And I think that's really, I want to just expound on what you were saying because I thought that was a really good point.
That's great. I think that's the sentiment here is be prepared when that opportunity comes, you have something to pull the trigger on, right?
Yeah,
You're
in
ready to
20
go.
years, I want to look up and she's like the next biggest star in the world. Like we looking at her selling out arenas and all this stuff, and I'll be able to remember, like, yeah, she was sitting in that room and she.
I hope she's in the
was ready
room
to
right now. I
sing.
hope she's hearing this.
I want to ask y'all a question.
Yeah, please go for it.
I want to become the question guy real quick. All right.
I feel honored.
And this is for everybody. You can raise your hand if you agree with this or not. There's a female friend that I know, right, that she's in the music business. Now, I seen something the other couple of weeks ago. She was getting on a plane, and she was singing. She was loudly singing, and she has a beautiful voice. And I guess people that was on the plane wasn't cool with that.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
Do y'all feel she should have got scrutinized to where it's like, yo, we don't want to hear that right now?
Yeah.
Or do y'all feel like, hey, she's in her pocket or her zone? She may be feeling like that. Do y'all think she needed to be condemned for that?
I don't want to
Y'all
say
that.
Can I answer this real quick? Because I don't want to go as far. I know exactly the scenario you're talking about. That same young lady followed me around one time when I was like.
Might be the same young lady.
Yeah, it's the same young. No, it's the same girl. I know
about.
exactly who you're talking about.
This is bad for this lady.
Yeah.
No. She ended up.
but she's cool.
She ended up.
though.
She good.
She's cool.
She ended up
She's cool.
going and doing the awards.
Yeah. She's
She
cool.
did a thing. So the problem with that is when she tried to make it like this is a closed space. I'm getting on the plane. This is not her sitting in the subway, sitting on the street corner, like Ed Sheeran playing his guitar, people walking up.
Right.
We are in a closed, we on an airplane, you know what I mean? Like what if I had a baby that I just got to go to sleep? And
Yeah.
you're singing at the top of your lungs, and now my baby wakes up and he's gonna be crying this whole flight. You know what I mean?
That flight got messed up after that,
it was
yeah.
one of those things where I think that there's a time and a space for everything. You know what I mean? And I think that we can be passionate about our gifts, but we gotta exercise tact.
Yeah.
Because it was really self-serving. It was a huge speech about how she just won a Grammy and she didn't win a Grammy. Seriously, she didn't win. The album she was on won the Grammy. So technically, she didn't win the Grammy. She just was participating in the Grammy album, which is no disrespect to her, but you gave this whole speech about how you just won a Grammy and you singing out loud and all this stuff. I just think it's a time and a place for everything, and I think that we live in this viral space that people don't respect the space of other people. And like with me, bro, don't prank me, bro. You know what I mean? Don't run up to me with the goofy, like I'm not, let's not do that. Like, so with the loudness and all of that, you gotta understand, like everything, trying to make a viral moment out of everything is just, it's become so much to where now you kind of infringing on people's personal space. This is an airplane, the door's closed.
If you take it back to networking as well, I mean, in that moment, let's say there were people that she could have networked with on that plane, as an example. People might not want to network with you at that
There are some people who watch
moment.
that clip and who don't want to work with her now because of.
So we're going back to first impressions here, right? If that's an impression you're making and you're not being cognizant of the way you're making people around you feel, that's something, and this is what we're going back to, right? What's the correct approach when you're trying to reach out to somebody, right? If they reach out in a way that's not humble, right, in a way that feels aggressive or any negative emotion, that's not going to resonate on the other end, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that really speaks to that.
And the reason why I said that is because in her heart, she may have been thinking that, you know what, that was the great thing to do. And the only reason why I bring it up is because, you know, me and my wife, we were talking about it, and she didn't know that I knew her, and my wife was like, that's not cool. You know, she was just like, regardless of what. I'm like, well, you know, I don't know, you know. But I was understanding where she was coming from because, like how you just said, it's about how you do things, y'all. You know, you may feel like you the dopest and you want somebody to hear you, but sometimes you got to think about what you're doing at some point to really not put yourself in a situation where you could.
I want to
brush
ask
people
you.
I
off.
wanted to
just wanted
network
to
this picture from Stevie Wonder. I ain't know how to run up on him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's like you had people, but just like, I kind of froze. Like, damn, I know he can't give me the autograph. So,
Right.
but yo, like, yo, we was in the airport, in LA. So he there, like, you know, but that's a moment where I walked away, I ain't getting nothing. You know, because I ain't open my mouth.
You
know
regret
what I mean? Yeah, but he was somebody, but you know, it was like, I'm trained anyway because of Stevie. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I met Stevie before too. I was.
then I
right
heard he was
behind.
mean though.
Nah, he's nice. He's a nice
He's
guy.
nice?
No, he's the nicest
Yeah, man, one of
guy.
them on the driver
I was
told me he
behind him.
mad
I wanted
mean.
to just say
The
peace
driver
to
probably
him.
was annoying him.
I don't know,
You
yeah.
know,
He seemed. I haven't met him, but he seems like a nice guy.
He's the nicest
Yeah.
guy ever. Like, he's so nice. He's kind. I was on a flight with him, and he put the blanket over his head when he goes to sleep. I was like, damn, nobody can even snap a picture.
Yeah,
of
'cause he wouldn't
Stevie.
be bothered.
Yeah, but he was a nice guy. He was
Guys,
Shit,
something
I
you
else.
want
wanna be
to
bothered?
ask this. I want to start off with you, Ghost. Can you share? I feel like a lot of people through networking have had an experience where something that you didn't think was going to happen or an opportunity you weren't expecting came through a good relationship that you built. Could be a business opportunity, even outside of music. Could be acting. It could be anything. But can you each, let's start with you, Ghost, share a moment where a pleasantly surprise that you weren't expecting occurred because of a relationship you built or you had in place?
What did I gain? Did I gain something from?
Yeah, or just an experience.
Let me think on that.
Yeah. Ray, you have something?
Yeah.
I got one. I remember this was back in the neighborhood before we even came out. You know, back in the 80s. Well, you know, I'm 54 right now, y'all. So I'm telling y'all my age right now.
Yeah.
Feel good about it.
Bless you.
We were all hanging out one night, right? We was going to a club. And I remember when we was walking in the club, you know, we was all dressed up, you know, feeling good about ourselves. We spent our summer youth check money to, you know, have an outfit to go out that day. And I remember seeing C.R.E.A.M, the artist, MC C.R.E.A.M, the God MC. He was jumping out of the car, and he was walking into the place that we were walking into, that we were going in as well. And at this time, and still to this day, it's my favorite MC of all time, C.R.E.A.M. Allah. I don't know if y'all know him, but
Of course.
he's considered the guy that helped us all become who we are today. And I wanted to say something to him so bad. Just, you know, this was at the time we were starting to rhyme in the staircase and, you know, feel ourselves or whatever. But I'm seeing somebody that I'm like, yo, it's so much of a inspiration to us walking down the street. And when he was coming, I was leaning on the side of the club building, like, just, you know, have my leg up, just, you know. I said, nah, I ain't gonna say nothing to him. I ain't gonna say nothing. But then when he walked by, we caught eye contact. And you know, I just, you know what I mean? And that was it, right? So now I get in the club, and then we, you know, I guess he was going to the bathroom or something. I was in the back, and he walked by. And when he walked by me, he did like this and kept it moving. So for me,
Did he know you at this point?
nah, he didn't know.
Okay.
No physical, no nothing, no conversation or nothing. But for me, that was the greatest moment in the world because it showed that energies sometimes collide for reasons that we all have no clue of knowing how things happen sometimes. And I'm sure everybody in this room been somewhere and been around somebody that they were fans of that they didn't want to say anything or felt they should have said something but didn't say it. That it just little things like that could just show you that there is a path laid out for you. It's a path. It's almost like getting closer to your goals, you know? That's why I said sometimes talking to yourself or just having these conversations, it's about what you put in the universe, y'all. Man. You put it in the universe. You make yourself say to yourself, it's going to happen. We just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So for me, what I left off with is that just that, to me, that was the opportunity to let me know, don't give up.
That's special.
Don't give up.
Wow. He saw you.
Yep.
So that's what I want y'all to always remember, is that you can be in your smallest space, you can be in your biggest space. When those little things or something like that touches you, or even if you're in an environment of something like that, you're on that path. Now it's important to calculate your moves and know that, you know what, now I gotta be better at what I'm trying to do because something is lining up.
Yeah.
You know.
At that time, not to cut you, but me and him, we saw Michael Jackson one time in the studio.
My God.
Yo,
Please share the story. Please share the
he
story.
ran in. It was like I'm doing what we doing, Bulletproof Wallet, not
Yeah,
Bulletproof.
we was working on your album.
Yeah, on the album. And this was like, we just seen him. I seen him coming in, but it supposed to have been private. He wasn't supposed to come the way that we came, that we was at. And he wound up coming in the room, like just coming that way. I seen him coming through the parking lot. And he had like two kids with him.
Yeah, there's two babies.
He had
with
two
him.
babies.
Thing was blanket and
Yo,
yeah.
they was looking rich as a motherfucker. Listen, yo, they looked like, cause they had the little curly things like Richie Rich. It was like, they looked like they was worth like 60 million apiece. Right? Came in the room, but it startled Mike, cause Mike thought he had the studio blocked off for dough. He got in there, yo, we was on him. Mike, yeah, we was like, I never fanned out so much like that.
Nah, we didn't even fan out.
I fanned out.
We was cool about it.
Listen,
we was cool.
Listen, I might have fanned out in my head,
In your mind, yeah,
in my
yeah.
mind, but it was like this the dude I used to pick up the broom to and sing ABC and all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how it go.
Hold
but
on,
it was
did you fan out or
I
not?
didn't want to like.
He don't
I
know.
definitely fanned.
Inside his mind, he
Yo,
does.
listen, but yeah, it went. But in my fuck it. But then he came in and it was like, yo, and he was just like he was mad humble, like he was so soft.
Right.
Like, yo, and we telling him like, yo, Mike, we love you, yo. We love you, we love you, we love you. Like, yo, it was just, that part right there was, when I left with that, was like, yo, that's when I knew anything can really like, you can do anything.
Wow.
You
Special
never know who
stories.
you're gonna
Do you
see.
remember it the same way, Ray? Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah. Cause
It was-
he was the one that told me. He was like, yo, all these black SUVs is pulling up and we looking through the Venetian blinds. We like, yo, who the fuck is that out there? and you
You
know,
was at
usually,
Westlake on Beverly?
no, we was in Miami.
We was in Miami
the
at
Hit
Hit
Factory.
Factory.
Hit Factory, yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually, you know, when you see Michael Jackson, of course you're gonna see thousands of people around him. This was an intimate us and him and owner
And the
of the
two
Hit
kids.
Factory. Yeah, his two kids.
The two rich babies.
Yeah, so when he walked in, you know, it's almost like me and Ghost was like, yo, is he walking the way is he looking like he coming in the room we in? So the time he was coming closer and closer, me and Ghost, we turned around. We was like we was in school again, like, yo, behave. Behave. So he came in, right? So he came in, right? And me and Ghost looked at him. He was like, yo, what's up, Mike? Yo, what's up? And you know, Ghost was like, yo, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I couldn't even look at him.
Yeah.
To me, I
It's
wouldn't
like
even
that.
look at him.
It's
I'm
like that. It's like that.
I couldn't even look at him. He was looking over. I just was like this, like,
Word.
Michael Jackson. You know what I mean?
But there was an exchange there.
Yeah,
right?
he talked to
Yeah.
us for about what, 9 minutes or something?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Well, they got the minutes
But he was
down.
like-
Nah,
You guys
for
remember
real.
that
Yeah, we
well.
had the minutes down,
Damn.
Pat. The
Nah,
minutes
for
are
real,
serious
for real.
though.
Damn.
The minutes,
Yeah, because I'm
remember.
telling him, I'm like, yo, I did a song off one of your records, the All I Got Is You. I'm like, yo, because that record is called like Maybe Tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't even think he heard it. You know what I mean? So he's just saying, yeah, all right, thank you.
Nah, he said he didn't hear it.
He didn't hear it. That's what I'm saying. They're like, yo, thank you, you know. I'm like, yo, Mike, just trying to tell him like, yo, we really, really, really love you, yo. Yo, thank you for everything. Like, you know, we try to get everything off because I know he's about to go into the other rooms.
Yeah.
So we just trying to tell him, like, you know what I mean? And, you know, he had, like I said, the 2 kids there. He was like real light spoken, soft spoken, and yeah, it was like that time right there. I was, yo, man.
That's special.
You
You know
know
what?
what I-
It's,
you know
it's
what I-
special to hear legends, you know, praise
Praise
other
other
legends.
people.
You know what I mean? I know we got to end it soon, but I want to end on a moment of gratitude for you at least as well. Can
but
you
I-
share a moment like that?
I'm gonna say, there's a kid here with me named Dennis, and he's a young producer from China. He's super duper talented. Dennis, he's
Dope.
super dope. So I was teaching at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and I had gave them an assignment to, you know, I gave them a subject for a song. I told them to produce it, write it, or whatever. When I came back, maybe a month later to come and check the assignments, I heard this song. I'm like, well, who produced that? And so I followed everybody on Instagram who was in the class, and I reached out to Dennis about producing some stuff. And I was like, yo, he was so talented, and his turnaround time was so fast, and he was so anxious that I just started telling him, like, yo, I'm going here, just come. He would book his flight and come. Like, he would just show up. We worked in Nashville, we worked in Dallas. He was like, we just working. So when Wid reached out to me about coming to do this, I said, yo, can I bring this kid Dennis? And I want people to know, like, he just being in the right room at the right time and excelling at his gift and being talented, it'll stand out. And a lot of times people lose hope and they think to themselves, like, how am I gonna make it in this oversaturated game where there's 600,000 songs being uploaded to Spotify every day? How do I stand out? I'm telling you, all you have to do is just be persistent with your gift. And that was the most incredible networking he ever did, was just showing up and being great. And then consistent, like, because every time I might call Dennis at 4 in the and be like, yo, I'll send him a acapella, yo, give me some music to this.
Right.
And by the time I wake up, he'll say, hey,
on it.
what do you, and he called me sir. Like, I have this for you, sir. I'm like, you don't have to call me sir.
Back to the idea
But
of being prepared
he's just
and ready,
prepared,
right?
he's always ready.
Yeah.
So he's here now because of that. And I hope that he's making great relationship. I hope he's exchanging information, and because I'm not one of those guys that like to. I want him to be free to meet everybody, get everybody's contact, and stay in contact. And,
So he's here right now?
He's
in
here right now.
Amazing.
I don't
Shout
know
out
if he's in
Dennis.
the room,
Yeah.
but he's here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Dennis.
What's up, man?
Yeah. So I think that's a key networking opportunity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to. I wanted to share his situation because I hope that he.
Thank you
makes
for
the
sharing
best of
that, man.
this.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think we're gonna open it. Do we have time for Q&A,
I
Marcel?
didn't want to be rude and get cussed out, but yeah, we have time for maybe, I think, 2-3 quick questions. So
Guys,
if anyone's
put
got
up your
questions,
hands,
raise your
and
hands. I'm
when
going to go over to
Marcel
that
comes
side.
around, just please say your name. Guys, we're just gonna open it up to the floor for 3 questions.
Yeah, do it.
Who do we got first?
Sure. Hi, my name is Shaka. I'm a singer-songwriter producer from West London.
Stand up, brother. Stand up.
Let's
Let
do it.
us
Let's do it.
feel your energy
2
all the
feet.
way.
Nice to meet you guys. Singer-songwriter producer from West London, part of the camp with Banks and Ranks, the family that had me down here. Before I say anything, I want to acknowledge the catalogs that you guys are part of, obviously Throwback and There Goes My Baby, as well as the 36 Chambers and Only Built for Cuban Links. To know that you guys are the curators of such great catalogs is a great pleasure to be around you guys, so thank you for that.
Shout out, yeah.
It took a while for me to realize that not only was I a fan of beats and bars and great songs, but I was also probably more of a fan of artists who created experiences. 3 Stacks was not only the guy who would spit really dope bars, but he tapped into this distinguished gentleman. And Janelle Monáe, same thing. Kendrick Lamar, Kung Fu Kenny, the mastery, the the guy who's always like at the top tier of everything he does, operating at a high level. Was there, and this question is aimed at the Wu-Tang, was there anything specific that you guys made synonymous with, I guess, Asian martial arts beyond the bars, beyond the beats? Were there elements that you gravitate towards in that space? Was it subconscious? Was it even a conscious thing that you guys decided to tap into that space? Or was it strictly bars and beats and this is my life and fuck you guys if you don't understand?
What do you guys
I
think?
mean, you know, when we was younger, we used to watch like the karate flicks on, when they come on Saturdays, 3 o'clock. It was more about the arts at that time. It wasn't really, at that time, I wasn't really getting busy at that time. That was like 84, 83 probably. But it was more about the Kung Fu. It was like, it was the way they was fighting and the way they, you know, it was like a, how can I say it? It was
A brotherhood.
it was a brotherhood too, but just watching how they fight, like different styles and all that stuff like that, that was appealing to me as a child. You know what I mean? But then when you really started to look at it, you could say that it was some science to it. Like, you know, you got different Kung Fu movies, but you know, there's always something about each movie that we're going to. You know what I mean? And you could carry that same thing in life. You know what I mean? On certain ones. You know what I mean? Like they had this thing called Mortal Kombat. It was one guy was blind, one guy was deaf, and I forgot what the other guy was. But you know, but it's a lot of things you can relate to your life or what you see in somebody else's life. You know what I mean? So that's before the bars and stuff like that. But then now when you start adding your bars to it, it's like, yo, you could start saying, yo, since that fighting scene was so ill, or that dude right there, like Master Killah, you could be like, you know, you start referencing like, yo, that, you know, the same thing we did when we did added the Mafia into like a lot of our things, like the Gambinos and all that. You know what I mean? This is things that we looked up to. I ain't know no karate, nothing like that. Never been, you know what I mean? But it was just like that became a part of your life at that age right there. Yeah. So RZA, like he said, he had a vision when he seen those like that. And Wu-Tang was, it was a martial arts, a group inside the flick. You know what I mean? I think they was fighting the Manchus, one of them, something like that or whatever. But he just took he, you know, yo, we gonna do this. And that's what it was though. So the bars came after.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
That's a good question. I feel like Wu-Tang has done an amazing job of creating its own world, right? Like visually, sonically, it all falls into like a theme. Like you feel it when you hear and experience Wu-Tang, right?
But it goes back to what he said, like, see, us being so passionate about karate movies back then, like he said, it was a storyboard of how they lived. Right. You know, when you think of Shaolin was the place that was far away from everybody. You know, and that's what we were. We were in Staten Island that was still connected to the 5 boroughs, but we were over here and all of the other 4 boroughs was over here.
Right.
So looking at these movies kind of reflected who we were as being the outside, you know. So that was something that we, you know, kind of put into our music. Like he said, different guys, you know, they called me the chef. The team gave me that name. You know, the chef was the guy that was always the cook, but he was nice and, you know, he was doing his thing or whatever the case may be. But they called me the chef because of the fact that I would rhyme to all different kinds of music. I love R&B, I love rap, I love all kind of music, and I would be able to put an ingredient in each what's the name. So it's all about, like he said, having something that you could put into your world and say and emulate it. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody has to be able to find something that they attracted to and apply it to yourself. So that's what it's all about, you know. And before the rhymes, like he said, even when we didn't have rhymes, we thought we had rhymes, and we would say little things, freestyle. Like freestyling is serious for us because to me, that's part of that rule book that you got to know that you got to be able to let whatever word come out your mouth, even if it don't match or it don't add up. You still got to know that you tried it that way, you know.
Right.
And it's all about teaching each other. So
Yeah. Thanks
just
for that
always
question.
remember
That was a great
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Where's
Who
Marcel?
else?
We got
Who
another
else?
question?
Who else?
Right over there.
My name is Shubs. I'm a music artist from Ottawa. So first off, I just want to say congratulations on your guys' success and thank you for your words today on the panel.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, as a music artist, I understand that character is a big thing when it comes to room, and it is number one. However, say producers, if they approach you, they have a value proposition of, oh, I have beats. An engineer can approach you and say, oh, I can mix a song for you. A graphic designer can be, I can make some content for you. What type of value proposition would you recommend an independent music artist have when it comes to approaching, say, producer, artist, publishers, so that there is that exchange in value to maintain and build those relationships?
I think it's just about greatness. And I think that when we see greatness, we want to be around greatness. We want to surround ourselves with great talent. And then when your energy is positive and it feels, I was with Slow Mike the other day and we was riding on the way to the studio, and his energy, and obviously he's done great things in the music business already, but his energy was so good and he was ultra talented that I just wanted to figure out a way that we can connect. So I don't think that sometimes people feel like, well, I'm just trying to get in. Just focus on being great. Just focus on being great. And somebody's gonna hear it, you know what I mean? A lot of times people, I know it sounds like difficult, but when you just focus on perfecting your gift and being absolutely the best version of yourself creatively, people will be drawn to you. They'll figure out a way to get next to you, and they'll figure out a way to utilize that gift in some form, shape, form, and fashion. So, you just can't get discouraged. You can't sit up every day thinking of an angle. You could spend that same energy thinking about how to be better at your gift, and then let it come to you.
And you say this from experience, right?
Absolutely from experience, because what people noticed about me was how much I wanted it.
Right.
And then they would start anywhere they were, they would be like, my brother, he rap, or my friend, he's this, he do, because they knew. So anybody they would see, they would think, you gotta hear Rico,
Right, right.
So it was just about focusing on the greatness.
You know how a lot of people just miss they goal is because they don't just go and get it. Like, you could be great, but if you're not in the spot,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could be in places like Wyoming somewhere, like I'm like, man, ain't no record labels out here. You know what I mean? And they come like, yo, I don't know what to do, but I'll be like, yo, you gotta go to Atlanta. You gotta go, where's it at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know what profession that you might do, occupation, but it's like if you gotta find like, yo, if that's not the place for you, you gotta go there. You gotta just go.
Or you gotta create such a strong community in Wyoming that everybody comes to you.
Right.
Because you gotta understand, if you in your space and you focus on, I'm gonna go to this high school, this high school, this high school, give my music to the kids. I'm gonna go to this college, this college, this college. And before you know it, it builds this cult following that when I come to Wyoming, for whatever random reason I'm in Wyoming, and I pull up and I'm like, yo, y'all heard about these kids in Wyoming?
Right.
They going crazy out there. People will come to you. I'm telling you. You create a community, but that's right. If you dolo, if you on your own, you need to go get on the plane and you need to be around, be in the mix.
That's how I meet. I meet a lot of them. They be by they, like, yo, this is like you said, just my man right here, or yo, here, take this. I'll do this, but I don't know how to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
South Dakota. I'm in Dakota one day. He's like, this kid was kind of alright. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you gotta get up. You gotta. I really can't do it. I don't want to waste the time. You know what I mean? But yo, you gotta go. Where's it at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go walk up in the Def Jam building or stand out there, something like that.
Intern
you know what I mean?
somewhere, sleep on some floors, sweep up.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I mean?
go choose the A&R of that
I
building.
signed 3 producers to me that were interns at Circle House. They were there for many years. Late at night, I just went to Diego Ave. He's a successful producer now. I signed his first publishing deal was with me, and I said to him, bro, what do you do? He's like, I make beats. All right, at the end of the night, I'm writing to one of your beats. You get one shot tonight, so play me your best beat. So I'm working,
Incredible.
3, 4 in the morning. He didn't forget. So I was getting ready to walk out. He said, yo, can I still? And he played me fire.
Wow.
And then he quit the next day. He started producing with me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So you just got to be in those
That's
spaces.
a great story.
You got to be in those spaces.
And thank you for that question from Chubbs.
Thank you, guys.
We got time for one more.
I mean, listen, I could be here all day. I love this, but I don't know. I think they're trying to tell me to wrap it up. I think one more over here from
We'll
Juice
do last
Movie.
question. Last question.
Back there.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
My name's Andrew.
Andrew.
I just had a simple question, but I just wanted more of a statement. The difference between organic relationship and a transactional relationship. Because a lot of people, me myself, I'm more organic. I like to get to know you before I work with you. Other people are like, okay, this is what you do. I'm going to get you to do what you do, and let's just go with it. How do you guys decipher which one you go with? And should I build a relationship with this guy? Oh, this guy he's a good mixer, good engineer. I'm just going to work with him, pay him. Do that, or do you build that relationship?
Hospitality. I'm going to tell you, hospitality. I met Banks and Ranks in a session with Super Dupes. We were working on C.R.E.A.M. And this was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? We just were in the studio working on songs. They love what I do. I love what they do. And years later, they had an artist. They said, hey, we would love for you to work with them. They came out to Miami. We worked. And then they invited me to Montreal. And they were so hospitable to me. So that organic now, I really have a respect, and also have, like, I care about those guys. So if they would ask me to do anything, I would show up. And then they introduced me to Whitney, and it was just the hospitality. They took care of me. They took me out. They showed me a good time. They were just making sure that I was good the entire time that I was there. And it led to this relationship. So then when I got here, I met, Astro and Triz and George and all these guys, and I'm just like, wow, these relationships. And I can tell that these are going to be similar relationships. Sitting down last night with Astro at the game, and we just talking, and we just I just felt like that was my brother. In the same way I felt with Banks and Rank, same way I felt when I first met Whitney. I felt like these are my brothers. When I met Lavish, I'm like, it felt like this is my brother. So if they were to call me and say, yo, we need this, we would love for you to be a part of this. And even in that exchange, they were offering assistance to me. I was offering assistance to them. In the first conversation that Astro and I had last night was about what he could do for me and what I could, and I was saying what I could do for him. And then, so what happens is you realize that we are like-minded, and that's natural. That's not me forcing my ideas on him. That's not him forcing his ideas on him. It was just, on me, it was just us exchanging what we can contribute, right, and us meeting in the middle with that. And so when I say hospitality, these guys took me to courtside seats to a game. Everybody won't be able to do that, but it might be something you can do to show a person that you care. They've been chauffeuring me around in Rolls Royce Cullinans all week. You know what I mean? Right. Like, no, seriously. And then I'm saying it to say, if you lay it out for a person and you give, if you have the resources to do such extravagant things, then go there. But even if it's the small things, when you're hospitable, a good person will always feel like, how do I return this energy? May not be I return it monetarily, may not be, how do I return this exchange of energy and this hospitality? And I can tell it's coming from a real space. It's not coming from they're trying to impress me. It's coming from a space of, this is how we live. And we want to offer that to you because this is how we live anyway. It doesn't seem like it was posturing or like,
it's about authentic
let's lay it out for him while he comes to town. It's like, yo, we're going to do this anyway. Right. You might as well be a part of it. And we want to, extend that to you because we respect your gift. So when you talk about relationships, organic, it's always organic when it's hospitable. When somebody says, all right, let me cook for you. Let me do this for you. Yo, I got a guy who washes cars. You got your car. I'm going to send my guy to wash your car. Oh, I saw this happen. I saw you didn't have this. Let me hook you up with my person. Let me do that. And the first one to be on me. You know what I mean? Oh, you need a haircut? I got a barber here. And you go to pay the barber. Like, oh, he took care of it. Oh, wow. That's a small gesture. Yeah. But it's like, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And then you start looking at a person and be like, there's something this small, and we'll establish a lifelong relationship because of this. Whitney put me on to this pastries place in Montreal. And I'm like, oh my God, why are you stressing me out like this with this? Now I just, you think about those things, man.
Ray and Ghost, to close it off, did you guys have anything to add to this?
Nah, he said what's real. I mean, it's all about, knowing that you want to always make people that could give you some kind of blessing or add on to your blessings, make them feel good, make them, I would tell dudes sometimes, I would have people kind of come to me and say, yo, I want to do a verse with you, yo. And they may not have the money at the time, and yo, I got this much, and their energy may draw me in, just based off of how they went about it. And then next thing you know, I say, all right, I'm down to do it, and now it ain't about the money. It's like, yo, he came and made sure my cab or whatever was there, and had food and all that prepared, and just the vibe felt good. Then after that, it became bigger than just the money. it became like, yo, this
Relationship.
guy's really a good person, you know. So that's important. It's always about giving the energy that you know that you would want to give to somebody to kind of let them feel who you are.
Shout out Drew
They will
Smoothie.
feel
Thank
it.
you for that question.
Good
Guys,
question. Good
I wanna
question.
thank you guys for coming through. This has been a super insightful conversation. I hope everyone took away crazy nuggets from these legends, and thank you guys so much for coming through today.
Nah, it's an honor. No doubt.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Good luck,
Love you,
everybody.
Drop the
Don't
nuggets,
give up.
bro.
Don't give up. It's just getting started.